We are live. Hello. How are we doing today? So this is day 2 of like my soft launch, not the official season premiere. I'll have that date. Yeah, I am yeah, that dude, that name, that's me on day number 2. So let's start off. Let me see. Where do I want to start off here? I got my notes here in front of me. I don't have my prompter. I got my notes. Okay, so let's go old school. So, all you fans that remember the show, Good Times, Florida and James Heaven and JJ Dynamite and Thelma, especially. All right, so look, if you watch this show, especially, I mean, if you were black and you were around in the 70s, even a kid, everybody watched Good Times, right? Thelma. So, did you have a crush on Thelma? Like everybody had a crush. It was like, man, Thelma is fun. Bernadette Stannis. I hear she still looks pretty good now, also. So you had Thelma, Laura JJ, Michael, Walona, a young Janet Jackson was on the show for a while. So, all right, so Netflix is bringing back Good Times as an animated series. It's going to be a cartoon, a Netflix cartoon. You're going to have all the original characters, Florida and James, and let's see, JJ, like I said, and Thelma, and Michael, and Walona. But it's going to be set in like modern times. So like in 2020, 2021, not back in the like late 70s, late 70s, when Good Times came out. I think it was late 70s, somewhere around there, right? Okay. And shout out to Steph Curry. So Steph Curry, along with Norman Lear, and Norman Lear was like he was the original producer for the TV show Good Times, and Seth MacFarlane, who created the Family Guy. So the three of these guys got together and formed a separate production company. So they are the ones that's going to bring back the cartoon version of Ain't We Lucky We Got 'Em, da 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 da. Good time. I can't hit that note. No, you're right. I can't sing at all. But you ain't Luther or Patty or Gladys Knight either. So, all right, just since we're gonna do that. So I got some more entertainment news I wanna hit you with. Then I got I had some other news, and I'm gonna close today's commentary with that. But Cardi B fans, so if you're a Cardi B fan, this may be bad news. Now, if you are a Cardi B fan and you a brother, maybe even some ladies, it might be good news, great news. But listen, I root for marriage. So apparently this just came across the news wires. So Cardi B, Bacalus, she got like this really exotic name, Bacalus, Almazar, and Offset. I'm not even going to try to, no. Anyway, unfortunately, Cardi B and Offset have filed for divorce. I don't know why, but that news just came across not maybe like an hour ago. So like I said, I root for Black love. I really do. Not that I don't root for any love, but man, it's just so hard. Just look, I don't need to tell you if you are a Black person, not just in America, but on the planet. But just real talk, it's just so hard just being a Black person, especially in America. So I root for Black love. Like I said, I root for love, period. But man, it's just always an extra layer or two with anything, just when it comes to being Black in America. So don't know what happened. I wish him the best. But all right, fellas, Cardi B, single and free. Somebody needs to play the cameo music. Single, single, life. She's there in Atlanta, right? Well, I don't know, because she's from New York. I think, but they living in Atlanta. Cameo made that song Single Life. Single, single life. They're from Atlanta. Shout out to Larry Blackman. brother that was wearing a cod piece. It was like an athletic cup that he wore on the outside. It was this bright red. he called it a cod piece. So anyway, shout out to Larry Blackman and the whole crew with Charlie Singleton. The whole man, I love to see Cameo. Once we get out of COVID-19, yeah, man, when we can go to a venue and when it's safe, it's probably gonna be a while. Look, I'm not a doctor, and I don't play one on TV like right now, but I do talk to a lot of doctors. I got a lot of friends that are doctors. Um, so we just need to be very patient. I know some people are talking about, oh, it's going to be a vaccine that you can shoot in people's arms by the end of October. That is the most irresponsible and reckless thing that anybody could tell you. Because if you talk to any credible, responsible doctor, researcher, epidemiologist, those that are doing research on vaccines, no, 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 no. And then I saw a report yesterday that said if it's going to take 2 shots, because initially there was a report like this vaccine, you had to get like 2 shots, a shot, then a month later you had to get like a booster shot. So I saw a report yesterday that said if this vaccine is going to require 2 shots, it's not going to be ready till 2024. So I'm not saying that it's going to be that long, but I'm just saying, just look, we're going to be wearing these masks for a long time. I think we're going to be social distancing for a while. And in some ways, that's not necessarily the worst thing. If nothing else, it's going to make us a lot more conscious of just our hygiene, because fall is here, right? So fall, winter, the flu season. So you're going to have the flu, you got influenza, and then you got COVID-19, the coronavirus, and pneumonia. Listen, man, wear your mask, okay? Wear your mask. Save a life. Save somebody's life, Could be somebody you love. You just never know. All right. So I guess the biggest story today on Tuesday, September 15th here in America, especially for the culture. So apparently the city of Louisville, they have given Breonna Taylor's mom, Tamika Palmer. And let me just say this before I go any further. Miss Palmer, I don't know if it's Miss or Mrs. Tamika Palmer. My prayers, my compassion, my empathy, my humanity. But I lift you and your family up in prayers. Breonna I know she at least had one sister. I think she had more than one. So Tamika Palmer and all of Breonna Taylor's family. But to you, Mom, to Miss Tamika, no parent should have to bury their child. Our children are supposed to bury us. So that is an unimaginable, it is an unimaginable pain and grief and weight that you carry every day. And no amount of money, if they would have given you $200 billion, no amount of money is going to bring your baby back. And you know that better than anybody. So I just want to convey my sincere empathy and compassion and humanity and my prayers that God will grant you the comfort and the peace of mind that you need to live with the loss of your daughter. And whatever, and I pray that God grants you whatever you need to cope and to get up every morning and to find purpose in life. I pray that God will grant you whatever that is, in whatever form or forms it comes in, for you to keep moving, you and your family. So the reason I'm talking about that, so the city of Louisville, they awarded Breonna Taylor's mom, Tamika Palmer, $12 million in a wrongful death lawsuit that her mom, Tamika Palmer, she filed in April. So so I'm pausing because let me explain to you, I have mixed emotions. I guess that pause, that uncomfortable pause probably told you that. So I don't have a problem with Breonna's mom accepting that settlement. Like I said, nobody, I don't care for everybody that's marched and wore t-shirts and has used their platform to say her name, Breonna Taylor. Everybody that's expressed outrage. There's nobody that's angrier, that's madder, that's more hurt, that's sadder than you, Tamika Palmer. Nobody. So you have the absolute right to handle this situation any way you want to. So not that you need my support. Hell, you don't even know who the hell I am, but you've got my support 100%. So I have no problem with Breonna Taylor's mom accepting this $12 million settlement, which, of course, in the end of the day, she won't even see 12 million because she got it. I believe, I could be wrong. My lawyer friends, you'll let me know. But still, even with the settlement, Uncle Sam's got his hand out. He's going to want his cut. And the attorneys, I don't think they did a pro bono. And they have a right to make a living. It's a civil suit. So I get it. I don't have any problem with that at all. What I do have a problem with, however, is, so let's unpack this and let's break this down. So the city of Louisville, Kentucky is paying $12 million because 3 of their officers shot 20 times into Breonna Taylor's apartment while she was in her bed, sleep in her apartment. Who paid taxes in the city of Louisville? She was a first responder, actually had 2 jobs, helping to save lives, try to save lives of people who came down with COVID-19. Her mom was afraid. Her mom said, I saw quoted as saying that she was afraid that her daughter might catch the coronavirus and die. She had no idea that her daughter was going to be murdered in her bed while she was asleep after working a hard day at her job. She had no idea. The people who were paid by the taxes that Breonna's mom, they pay with the taxes that comes out of their check. So the people whose salary they pay to protect and serve Breonna and Breonna's mom, those are the people who killed Breonna. And so now the people who are paying for Breonna Taylor's murder are among the people of the city of Louisville is Tamika Palmer, who I believe, I'm assuming, lives in Louisville. So I'm sure she lives and works in Louisville. So she's a taxpayer, and ironically, Breonna Taylor. So Breonna Taylor's mom and Breonna, along with all the other taxpayers that live in the city of Louisville, are paying Breonna Taylor's mother because she was recklessly killed. As a matter of fact, one of the police officers was actually fired. And in the termination letter, I wrote it down. Let me just take a look at it. His name is Brett Hankerson. Brett Hankinson. So in Brett Hankerson's termination letter, said he blindly shot 10 times into the house with the door closed from outside of her apartment. He couldn't even see who or what he was shooting at. He was standing outside of Breonna Taylor's apartment with Breonna Taylor's door closed, shot blindly 10 times, was fired. 2 other officers were also there. None of these officers have been charged. None, not a one. Brett Hankinson was fired, but he's still walking around free. Nobody's been held accountable. So my first problem is, why is it that the city, the people who live in the city of Louisville, why should they have to pay for Breonna Taylor being murdered? Why shouldn't Brett Hankinson and the other 2 officers go digging in their pockets? Go grab that pension fund. Go dig in that, clean it out. And if they don't have any other money, if they own a house, put a lien on the house, garnish, if they get another job, garnish their wages. The taxpayers of the city of Louisville should not pay for murder that they did not commit. And the people who committed the murder took an oath to serve and protect, to protect and serve, took an oath. And they have a higher level of responsibility to use their power that they have judiciously. I mean, that's just real fact. That's just the bottom line. As a parent, any parent that's watching this now, in your household, you have a higher degree of responsibility than your children do. Because you, in theory, should be wiser, smarter, more responsible. You have more power. You get to make the decisions for the family, not the kids, the parents. So parents have to be held to a higher standard. So law enforcement, when we, the taxpayers, people that pay your salary, entrust you with this power to where you can legally kill somebody and get off. So you have to be held to the ultimate highest standard of responsibility. And you've got to use that power in a very responsible, judicious way. And if you are not mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or physically equipped, if your racial blind spots, or if your misogyny, or your sexism, or your homophobia, or your Islamophobia, or your anti-immigrant hate, or just flat out racism, anti-Semitism is so strong inside of you that you can't keep that bias from clouding your judgment when you look at a black person or a brown person or a woman or a gay or trans person, then you do not need that job. You should not be entrusted with that type of power because you're not responsible enough. You don't have the character. You don't have the moral foundation to be entrusted with that type of power and responsibility. So that's my first problem. Second problem, Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron spent 6 months, brother. Yeah, he's a black dude, brother. Come on. What are we doing? Look, and I understand, I know your politics, I know your political affiliation, I know your ideology. I know somebody's throwing your name around. Oh, he's considered to be placed on the Supreme Court as a Supreme Court judge. Really? Really? Yeah. Is that what we're doing? Yeah, because he'll do any damn thing. Notice I didn't even mention his name because you all know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to trigger you or me right now by mentioning his name. But Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron It has been 6 months. Can you please file charges so this case can go to the grand jury? Come on, brother. Really, what are we doing? All right, here's a thought experiment. Let me just throw this out there. There's a woman, she's 26. She is a first responder. She's a nurse. She's working 2 jobs in the middle of the coronavirus outbreak, COVID-19 pandemic, working hard every day. She comes home, comes to her apartment. She goes to bed because she's tired. She's been working hard all day long trying to save lives, save strangers' lives, people that she doesn't know, that she never met, that will never see again, working hard to save their lives. So she's tired because she's been trying to save lives all day. So she comes home to the peace and quiet and security, supposedly security, of her own apartment. And she's lying in her bed and she's asleep. And you got 3 officers who show up with this no-knock warrant. And they start just blasting through the door. But now let me add a couple layers to it. You got 3 black police officers. Can you imagine 3 black police officers just not announcing themselves with a no-knock warrant? Bam! I guess trying to kick the door down, it didn't open. And they just start firing 20 shots through the door, through the house. And this first responder, this 26-year-old woman, lying in her bed, sleep, is shot 8 times. Now imagine that's a white woman. Daniel Cameron. And when one of the police officers, one of those black officers, was fired because his termination letter said he was fired because he blindly shot 10 times through a closed door. So Daniel Cameron, Kentucky Attorney General, would it have taken you 6 months with that evidence to at least charge these officers? Would it at least some type of manslaughter? At least, come on, really? You can't even do like 2nd-degree manslaughter, reckless homicide? When the termination letter for one of the officers said that he was fired because he blindly shot through a closed door 10 times. That's the definition of reckless right there. Hell, I didn't even go to law school and I can figure that out. So, Attorney General Daniel Cameron, you can't figure that out? If Breonna Taylor was white and those 3 officers were black, do you imagine, would it still be 6 months without any charges? With that body of evidence, Daniel Cameron, brother, I ask you, would you still be trying to figure out, I don't know. Come on, man. Stop. Don't do that. No. But we're not going to lie and BS each other. Come on. Do the right thing. Because really, at the end of the day, it shouldn't even be about color. Unfortunately, in America, color is always in the mix somewhere because of just white supremacy and this whole made up BS construct of race and whiteness, which that shit was made up back in the late 1600s over in Europe. Come on, I'm not even go down that rabbit hole with the history lesson. That whole concept of whiteness and color, that shit is made up. Do a DNA test. DNA test is not going to say, oh, this person is white. No, it'll say their ancestry is from what? It won't even say Europe. It'll say it'll say Germany or Slovenia or Russian or Irish or Italian or Polish. It ain't gonna say white. That shit was made up and made up to separate and to basically divide and conquer and pit one group of people against the other. I'll save you for the history lesson for another episode of the show, of one of my daily shows. So once again, just in closing, my prayers go out. My prayers go out to Breonna Taylor's mom, Tamika Palmer. I can't, and I mean this. My heart as a parent, it's like you don't even want to think about it. You don't even want to form your lips to even say the words and put them out there, because no parent, like I said, our kids are supposed to bury us. We're not supposed to bury our children, especially when they are hard working, doing the right thing, and then they get murdered in their bed while they are sleeping by people who Breonna Taylor was paying, that she was paying them to serve and protect her. Sister worked not one, two jobs. So the people who she was paying out of her hard-earned salary, every paycheck, the people that she was paying to serve and protect her were the people who just indiscriminately shot through her door like she was an animal and shot her down. And none of them have been held accountable or responsible. And you've got to live with that pain. And you've accepted the $12 million, my sister. And that $12 million will in no way erase the pain. I doubt if it'll even ease the pain. And it's not going to bring your baby back. And you know that better than me or anybody else. But I support what you've done. I do like that you and your attorneys made sure that at least the city of Louisville enacted some policy changes with the police department. I believe got rid of these no-knock warrants. So they got to do them a lot differently now. You know, they got to go through like a police supervisor. They got to review it and make sure that they got the addresses right and that the person that they were looking for, because the dude that they were looking for when they went to Breonna Taylor's apartment and murdered her, they already had him in custody. How the hell does that happen? You all go shoot her door down looking for somebody, and your police department, you already had him in custody. Really? What the hell was that? So, Ms. Palmer, I lift you up in prayer. I'll say it one more time. My sincere prayer is that God grants you whatever it is you need in whatever form or forms it comes in, or who it comes from, whoever he uses as a vessel to help give you the aid, the comfort, the strength, and the purpose to carry on. Because like I said, $12 billion really won't ease that pain. Some people might say, oh, it's a little bit. Nah, I never lost a child. I could imagine. No amount of money. Because I guarantee you, if somehow you could make a bargain with God and say, God, you can have that 12 million. I want my baby back. It wouldn't even be a thought. It wouldn't even be a half a second. But unfortunately, that can't happen. And I wish it could. I so wish it could. So respect. Prayers go out to you. City of Louisville. Okay, now let's clean up that police department. All right. And Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron Come on, man. Dude, really? Do the right thing, Daniel Cameron, because guess what? Irregardless of your political affiliation and your ideology and the circles that you run in, you still black, brother. And one day you could be pulled over by a racist cop right there in Kentucky that might not recognize you, might not care what your wife looks like, might not care who you vote for, but just see you and see your black body as a threat. And you could wind up suffering the same fate that Breonna Taylor suffered. So don't get it twisted. No matter what circles you travel in, what your ideology and what your ideology is, who you vote for, who you hang out with, who you marry, or whatever, just remember, in America, partner, you are still black and you will always be black until the day you die. And there are people who resent you and will hate you just because you are black for no other reason for that. So I say that hoping that that triggers something in you to see yourself in Breonna Taylor. Because Breonna Taylor, in theory, could have been you or somebody in your family. Oh, yeah, it could happen. It could happen. Absolutely. Don't think it can. Don't think because you may live in a posh neighborhood or whatever. It could happen to you, partner. In this America, in 2020, it could happen to you. It could happen to me. Anybody that looked like us. So, today's episode, Geno Jones Live. Please like, love, subscribe to my channel. It's free. This is just this week is like a call it like a soft launch week, soft launch week, like dress rehearsals. I'll be having guest conversations and a whole lot more coming up. So this is shout out to my IT director and everybody else that supported me and that have taken out the views. Listen, I'd love to have you as a sponsor for those companies, entrepreneurs, business people. As a matter of fact, I will be having a segment on my shows where I'll have a platform and a segment on the show where I'll be introducing entrepreneurs to the world and let them tell their story. And hopefully their story will inspire you to go and be the best version of yourself and do you. So, but I'd love to have sponsors. If you like to be a sponsor, if you'd like to be one of my advertisers, it's Geno Jones Show at Gmail, or just reach me right here on my YouTube channel. You can leave me a message right here on YouTube, and I'll get back with you and let you know how you can be a sponsor for the Geno Jones Live Daily Show. 5 days, at least 5 days. Maybe some days 6 or 7, depending on what's going on, because heck, it's my show. All right, thanks for watching. Me and you tomorrow, today, Tuesday, September 15th, 2020. And I'm going to go real old school and quote this legendary news dude. And that ain't me. I ain't a news dude. Legendary, well, some would argue. His name was Walter Cronkite. And at the very end, he would give the date. And that's the way we say, that's the news for it. September 15th, 2020. And that's the way it is. So that's the way it is. I'll see you.